Hello everyone, good afternoon. I'm very happy because this is the second episode of That Is Why Italy, a series entirely dedicated to Indian students currently in Italy who are attending a course in Italy or have completed a course in Italy. Today we will have with us Nandhini, who's now in Pisa and who has completed her one-year master course in building information and modeling. I'll just wait for a guest to join, and then we will start with the series. Okay, I can see that she is here watching us. Hello, everyone. Fantastic. I can see our guest. Let's see. Oh, Nandini, here you
Hello,
are. Amazing.
how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. As you can see, we have changed the location. We are
Yes,
now in the in the garden of the Consulate of Italy in Mumbai. I just thought that having this green around would have been a little bit more,
yes,
joyful.
yes.
Uh,
Well, I
where are
miss
you
a little
now?
bit of summer. It's a little bit cold here, so I'm all inside the house with all the AC and heaters on.
Yeah, I was told that in Italy it's pretty cold at the moment.
Yes, yes.
Whereas here in Mumbai, you can believe me that it's very, very starting to be very, very
Uh,
hot, and I'm a little bit suffering, but it's fine. I mean, it's not going to take too much time, so I think I can make it. So.
Great.
So thank you again for being here today. Your testimonial is super important for us. And as a starting point, of course, I will ask you, how come did you decide to go and study in Pisa? What was the click in your head that brought you to apply to the University of Pisa?
Okay, so I graduated in architecture in India. So after that, I was freelancing a little bit, and then I finally moved to Auroville in Pondicherry
Okay.
to join work in a private studio. In that private studio, I worked and collaborated a lot with many Italians. My senior architect was an Italian. Our executives were Italian, e-commerce, and then there was also an intern working with us from the Polimi, Politecnico di Milano. So that is how I started doing some more research about the education because the work ambient was really good. I was getting even more and more curious. So I started looking for all the courses available, and this building information modeling, it's a up and coming methodology. It's like it's a whole new ball game right now in the architectural field. So
Okay.
I started to gather more information, and I compared the universities. I also had to consider very much the financial side of my family. So I also started looking at the fee structure, everything, and then I finally decided to go with University of Pisa. Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
And how did you, because just to inform you guys that are following us today, Nandini approached to Unitalia, when was it? More than a year ago, a year and a half ago, asking for our support. So how did you find out about Unitalia? What brought you to us during I believe you were going to apply for the university, or you had already applied?
So I had already applied. So there was this
Okay.
small issue which I was not able to figure out. The thing was, the master that I applied was the second level masters, and the
Okay.
eligibility criteria had told that we had to have at least 5 years of previous university experience to be able to apply to this course. And
Okay.
in India, the architecture degree undergraduation is stated as Bachelor of Architecture, even if it is a 5-year course. So
Yeah,
there
no.
was this confusion between me and the university because they were not able to identify this as a master's, or consider me as an eligible student. So I was initially like sending mails to VFS because I didn't know about Uni-Italia. And then they sent me this updated procedure, and it was written as Bando, and with a PDF. And this PDF had all the contact details of Uni-Italia, and it told it's a service exclusively for students to help the students with all the application process. That is when I contacted you to solve this issue, and then I saw everything went well. I decided to go on and opt for the entire service. And to
And
be
we
frank, it was very smooth for me. The further stages were.
Thank you, Nandini. I also would like to remind that it was during the lockdown period, if I'm not wrong. So
Yes,
it was a
yes,
very,
yes,
very tough moment
yes,
for all of us. So I'm happy that the
yes,
process was smooth and that we helped you with it. So let's now come to the. So you, of course, you applied, you were admitted, then you applied for your visa. Everything went well.
yes,
You got your visa, and then you finally arrived in Pisa, where you
yes.
had to find the accommodation. Was the process smooth? Did you have any issues with that?
Okay. Personally, I did not have any issues because, as I told, like when I was working in India, I had collaborated with a lot of Italians. So I already had some contacts beforehand. So I decided to share an accommodation with somebody I already knew. So I'm in a shared accommodation with other Italians. So it was
Okay.
smooth for me, but also otherwise, I would say it is possible to find accommodation. So one thing, if you are a scholarship holder, you will be given an accommodation. That's point one. Also, otherwise, there are a lot of student community groups that you can
Okay.
easily find on Facebook and WhatsApp. And there is always somebody or the other posting about, vacancy in room, looking for a roommate. So it's, yeah, you can easily find something. And international offices, they are always available for this kind of help. You can always approach them. They will be able to assist you in all the procedures.
Yes, this is very important because as an international student, you arrive, and then, of course, having a support from the international student office of the
Yes,
university is actually a great added value. And of course,
yes,
I would like to remind all the students that when Nandini spoke about the scholarship, she was referring about the regional scholarship of DSU Toscana region,
yes.
which gives not only a support in terms of tuition fees exemptions or reduction, but also a support in terms of accommodation.
Living expenses,
So,
yes.
so that's something very, very important. So the accommodation part again went very, very smoothly. What about now? You have completed your 1-year course, so you will be able to give your testimonial regarding the teaching, let's say, without being killed by some professors. So,
Yes,
right?
totally.
So,
Yes, totally.
so how would you evaluate the quality of teaching, the English level of the professors, for example?
Yes. So yeah, I was able to like communicate easily. I didn't personally feel any issues at all. The teaching was good, and my course had a lot of also a lot of practical stuff involved, like workshops and electives and internship. So, like coming
Okay.
from the architectural field, it's really important for us to get the balance between theory and the practical part. So it was really helpful for me, both the methodology that they followed.
So you had both theory and practice. You had a real
Yes,
on-the-job experience,
yes,
thanks
yes,
to the university. Okay,
yes.
that's extremely important. And what about the? Now I'll switch topic. What about the
Okay.
social life in Pisa? Did you get in touch with other, not only Indians? I wouldn't say only Indians. Other international students there? How would you evaluate the international community in Pisa? Uh, or again, did you have the chance to meet a lot of Italians there? Did you integrate with the Italian community?
Yes, a lot. I'm really grateful for all my friends here. So yeah, and also I've met a lot of other students from other European countries and also Indian students. So there are a couple of Indian restaurants in Pisa, which I
Okay.
always go to a lot of time. So I get to meet a lot of other Indian students as well in the restaurants. And also, if you go to the center of the Pisa, you can see the place is very dynamic, both with the tourists and also with the student community. You can like easily identify all the students. You can if you can like take a walk on the course, or if you take a cafe in a restaurant, you can like get to know the dynamics there.
Okay. Okay. And there was something that you told me the other day when we spoke at the phone that you're
Yes.
still not getting used to, and I found it hilarious. What is that, Nandini? Please share it with all the people that are watching us.
Yes, so it's the it's the breakfast. I'm used to I'm so much used to having a salty breakfast in India,
Okay.
and it's so difficult for me to, or it's the only thing that I find still difficult for me to cope up with, to have a sweet breakfast, a cornetto or something like that. Yeah.
And then I asked Nandini, do you have also always your, a portion of masala in the pockets? And
Yes,
because
and the
you've
restaurants are
learned to
always asking for pepperoncino.
peperoncino. See, you've learned to say that very well.
Yes,
So, since you said peperoncino, which means
the chili.
spicy,
Yes.
chili, yes, exactly. Can you tell us something about the language? Because I know that you have done some progress. So, this is something that I would like to highlight today, since it's a very, very important topic, especially for those who are willing to not only study in Italy, but stay in Italy for after their graduation.
Yes. So, like, I started learning Italian like since I came here. So, in from last year January, and I started like studying it properly from my summer, where I had a lot of holidays. I started preparing, and this December, which is like 2 months back, I gave my exam to take the C1 certification, and I also cleared it. So right now I have the C1 certification. It has been really helpful. I really enjoyed learning this language. It's such a beautiful language. It's okay. The grammar is tough. I cannot deny that, but yeah, it's very complex, and it's so beautiful. And it has helped me in many other ways. Like, for example, if I'm working in an office, it's not really important for me to learn Italian, because most of the people are able to speak in English as well. But learning Italian, where I can like go on site and maybe be able to converse with the laborers or contractors who might have not known English, this has like really put me in a advantageous position. It was not an
Of course.
obligation, but it definitely is an advantage to me. And about that, it kind of like breaks down the barrier and lets me blend with the community here. So yeah, I have like a really old person near my house. She's almost like 90 years old. Whenever she takes a walk, she always talks to me, and She asks me about India. I share things with her, and she says how so many things are similar from there and here. So I'm able to discover all this because I don't have the barrier of language, and I have really enjoyed this entire process.
That is amazing, Nandini. It's like I always tell the students that, okay, yeah, they're not obliged to learn Italian,
Yeah.
but if you're living in a place, learning the language of the people that surround you, it's extremely important. It's like living in India without speaking a word of Hindi. I mean, how can you do that? How can you cope with that? Well, you'll never
Yes.
understand the
No.
country as much as you should. So
Yes.
thank you for this. And so knowing that now you've learned, you have a good knowledge of the language, and that you have completed your studies, what are your plans for the future? What are you planning to do?
Okay, I'm currently looking for a job right now, and things
Okay.
are like really promising because
Okay.
I think you have heard about the 110 super bonus by the Italian government. If not, it's
Yes.
a scheme by Italian government for the homeowners here. They are giving an incentive for everyone who is willing to upgrade their energy classes in terms of consumption of water, gas, electricity, and everything. So I would say ever since this was introduced, there has been a lot of people who are interested in doing this. So I think the construction industry here is like, taking a flight from this point. I'm sure there'll be already a lot of projects coming in for also in the firm where I worked. And also the course which I did, BIM, Building Information Modeling, the Italian government has already made it mandatory to be employed in all the large-scale projects over 100 million. But also by the end of 2022, the government is planning to incorporate it in also other public projects and other smaller categories with small-scale projects. So it's simply
Okay.
the right time and right place for me to be where the industry is, like getting evolved. So yeah, that's what
Okay.
my plan is.
No, it's beautiful because when you have such success stories, people arriving, students studying in Italy that then have their um, story continuing in Italy. Actually, finding something, a way to stay in the country thanks to the course of studies they have been doing. That's a wonderful story, Nandhini. So thank you for sharing that.
No
I
problem.
would also like to remind all the students that are watching us today that, of course, Nandhini has studied a 1-year master course at the University of Pisa, specializing master course. But Pisa has
Yeah.
also, among all the courses that they also have 2 bachelor degrees entirely taught in English in the field of economics and management, and 14 master degree courses which are mainly focused in the STEM area. So you will have from computer science to nuclear engineering, aerospace engineering, and so on. They also have a management master degree course, and they also have 5 PhDs entirely taught in English. So you have a huge variety of options at the University of Pisa. Also, another very important thing for you all is that the call for application is different for each single course. So this could make it a little bit complicated for you.
Yeah.
However, the call is open now for many of these courses. So you should we will put the link of the courses on this on the stories after saving it. So by clicking on the link, you will find out which courses are available for application at the moment. However, there will be a second call soon, so you don't have to worry. And of course, Uni-Italia India is here for you also in case you need any sort of support in this sense. We will be very happy to assist you.
And I
I'm just thinking.
totally recommend this as well.
Thank you, Nandini. I have a last question, or I would say 2 questions. So you spent your 1.5 years in Pisa, but did you have time to travel anywhere else? Did you visit a little bit Italy during this time?
Yes. So I did a lot of traveling around. So initially,
Okay.
when I came here, there was a complete lockdown, so I couldn't go anywhere. Especially, initially I could not even like cross the comune and then the region. So I started traveling around Tuscany first. So obviously, the first place I went was Pisa. So because right now my residence is like almost 15 kilometers away from the center of Pisa. So
Okay.
I went to Pisa and then Florence, and then I started to go to the other places like Siena, Arezzo, Volterra.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yes.
Don't tell me this. I
So
feel so homesick lately. So especially when we speak about Tuscany region,
yes,
I'm not from Tuscany. I'm from Rome, but for all Italians, that region is
that's
amazing.
beautiful.
So
Yes.
I'm jealous at the moment. So you went around. You visited the country a lot. Okay.
Yes, countryside. So, and then the first place I visited outside Tuscany was Venice. I took
Okay.
a 3 days trip, and it was so beautiful. And of course, I went to Rome and Bologna. And during my summer holidays, so the university was off for almost 1 month. So I took a trekking trip along with my friends in Trentino. It was so
Wow.
beautiful. Yes. in the summer, it was so nice to go back to the mountains and, chill a little bit. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, amazing. We have some students. Okay, so I would like to remind you all that if you have any questions, go along with it. I can see that a student asked, okay, which university? We are speaking about University of Pisa today. Another student asked, what are your monthly expenses, living expenses? If you want to share, let's start with maybe the accommodation, or you can give an overall idea of how much you spend per month in Italy.
Okay, so it actually depends a lot on where you are finding your accommodation. Like if it is really close to the university, you can actually find very, very economic accommodation starting from 250 euros per month. So in that case, you can like wind up the entire expenses within like 500 or maximum of 600 euros as well.
Okay.
But there are also like really hot spots in the city where things are like really expensive, not just the accommodation, but also just the lifestyle of a certain neighborhood are expensive. The groceries are expensive. So
Okay.
so you can all find this out when you are a part of this community. I got I get most of my information from the student communities. I'm part of the
Okay.
Facebook group, WhatsApp group. So I ask for information there. And so usually you can find people who are already living there, who have been managing things there already. So you can find out really economical places and economical everything to do.
And plus, something that we haven't mentioned are, of course, the scholarships, because University of Pisa, but not only, offers
Yes.
scholarships for international students. So if you apply to University of Pisa, you have the scholarship issued directly by the university, which is the UniP scholarship, and it's a merit-based scholarship. Then you have the opportunity to apply for the Invest Your Talent in Italy scholarship program. You can also apply for the MAECI, Ministry of External Affairs and International Cooperation Scholarship. And then, of course, on top of that, you also have the regional Tuscany Regional Tuscany
DSU.
Scholarship, DSU, thank you, which is basically an income-based scholarship. So based on your family income, you will receive a reduction or a tuition fee exemption, and of course a support in accommodation. This for the first year. So in case if you don't achieve a certain number of credits for the second year, the scholarship unfortunately will be suspended. So first year is income-based. Second year, you will need to show that you have studied a little bit. So this is something that you must keep in mind. How the university supports international students incoming. From Nandi's family in Pondicherry, bring some Italian sauce with you when you come back. Okay, we have this kind of comments also. Okay. There is an interesting question. Are there more job opportunities for architecture? What would you say to this, Nandini?
So I would definitely say yes, just like I've said in the previous stuff. Like the construction industry is right now like taking a flight here with all the schemes and policies which are being employed by the Italian government. So I would definitely say the opportunities are looking really good right now.
And plus, the Italian government allows you to stay 1 extra year, 12 extra
Yes.
months once you have graduated. So you have the time to look for a job.
So
And
for a job, yes.
if you're an active person like Nandini is, I believe that you'll definitely find something.
Yeah. So I've applied to Centro per l'Impiego, which is like an employment exchange office here who can assist you find a job. And also, most of all, it's the community that is actually in the end, which is helping you. You can look through LinkedIn and you can actually like go down and start looking in the field where you're working. If I come across an engineering or an architectural office in my neighborhood, I will send my curriculum to them. So it's come down to the community. Yeah, that's how I've been like getting some little bit of freelancing opportunities as well. Yeah, so I'm really hopeful.
I'm sure that everything will go great for you, Nandini. I'm very confident with it.
Thank you
So
so much.
very last question that we will take. How's the visa process? Okay, the visa process is as usual. I mean, you have to have all your documents there in order to apply. So make sure to get all the documentation ready. The documents that are in the checklist, which will be published, I believe, in the next following months. There is a checklist for visa. So whatever documents is there on the visa checklist, you have to have it and you have to submit it before the deadlines. Okay. This is the only thing that I can tell you at the moment. The documents, of course, depend on the situation of each student. So according to that, the situation will change. I'm speaking, of course, about the financial documentation. For the rest, of course, you will need the offer letter from the university, pre-enrollment summary, declaration of value if required, passport, and so on. So the documents are still the same. If you need any assistance with this, you can again contact Uni-Italia office in Mumbai, and that's it. So I don't know if you want to say anything else, Nandhini.
Yes, so I would say that like all these bureaucratic things like take really long time. So I would suggest and advise all the students to start the process as soon as possible. So like also when I did, I mean, some of the bureaucratical process are actually like not in our hands. Once you submit it, you have to give the time that is required for processing, like getting the HRD or the apostle. It took me a lot of time when I was doing this process, and I didn't knew this, that it was going to take that long. So I would really advise all the students to do all the process beforehand, so that you're not running out of time or doing everything in a hurry. It gets messy if you're doing it in a hurry. So
Thank you, Nandhini. That is actually the most important advice that we should give to the students. Avoid last-minute application. But the biggest error, when you apply at the very last minute, in a rush, panicking, that's the thing that you have to avoid. If you have, one thing that I can tell you immediately is that if you have your degree in hand and you're willing to apply to an Italian university, start getting that degree stamped by the HRD department. And once this is done, start getting the apostille on it. Because this is one of the processes, as Nandhini correctly mentioned, one of the processes that takes the very, very long time. So if you have all this in hand, if you have your degree in hand or your 12 standard according to where you are applying, start doing this immediately. Okay. So it was amazing. I hope that we can have another of these lives, like let's say in 6 months.
Definitely. I'm happy to be collaborating with you. So thank you so much for having me, actually.
Thanks to you, and have a lovely day. It's morning time in Italy, so have a lovely day, and hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ciao, Nandhini.
Ciao.
Ciao.